Good morning and welcome to Tuesday morning, the 15th of February. Our devotion this morning is entitled 7 Endless Miles. And the scripture passage cited is Luke 24, verses 13 through 35. 7 Endless Miles, Luke 24, verses 13 through 35. Forlorn footsteps follow a pathway of denial, the pathway to Emmaus down 7 endless miles. Forsaken, helpless followers so faithlessly assume there's no one left to follow. Hope was buried in the tomb. As they discuss and argue and want to disagree, before where only 2 were, now suddenly there's 3. What things were you discussing? Could you explain to me? He asked as he stepped out beyond the edge of mystery. But their pain and disappointment was more than they could tell, for they had hoped he was the one to rescue Israel. How foolish of heart, how slow to believe. Come, be reconciled on these 7 endless miles. Faith will see beyond the mystery's disguise. The miracle of broken bread can open up your eyes. Take care, Michael Card writes, take care to listen closely to the words of the dejected disciples. They had given up any hope that something had happened in Jerusalem. Now, making their way back to the city of Emmaus, we had hoped, they said. In spite of the fact that they have heard the miraculous message from the women that Jesus has been raised from the dead, they cannot find it within themselves to believe. Still, their doubt persists to the degree that they are walking away from the scene of the crime. They had given up the notion of waiting Jesus out. They had given up the notion of waiting Jesus out to see if it could possibly be true. They're going home. It's over. Even as they are in the process of leaving the scene, Jesus' kindness reaches out in an interesting and creative way. His love will not let them go. All of a sudden, he's walking along the road with them. He's able to somehow cloak his appearance. Though they are his disciples and had been in his presence, they do not recognize Jesus. He walks along with them, engages their doubt, and begins to teach them a significant lesson. Jesus unpacks for them all the promises of the Hebrew Bible regarding the Messiah, promises that they should have known. But even the lesson seems unable to reach through the persistence of their doubt. Very similar to yesterday's devotion, the persistence of their doubt. At the meal, upon the breaking of the bread, whatever had kept them from recognizing him is lifted, and they recognize the risen Lord. Luke is careful to say it was the moment when Jesus broke the bread that their eyes were opened and they recognized him. The breaking of bread was, in effect, a miracle Jesus used to cure the particular blindness of their disbelief. The breaking of bread. It is a miracle that occurs thousands of times a day all over this tired globe. At the very moment when most of us are moving in the opposite direction, Jesus calls us back, turns us around, and opens our eyes at that miraculous moment when the bread is broken. Michael Card later on suggests here in the lyric note that what the story we know as the road to Emmaus should be known as the road away from Jerusalem. I like that. I don't know about you, and I've probably said this before, but I love the humanness of the people we meet in the scriptures. Not superheroes. They do not have it all together all the time. They do not live their lives without stumbling, without mistakes. Those are the kinds of people that Jesus comes alongside of and walks with and helps us. Points some things out to us, helps us to rise above the despair, to rise above the lack of faith, and draw us back into his presence and encourage us. The end of the story, of course, is they go running back to Jerusalem to let the others know what's happened to them. I pray for stories that we can all tell and share with others of how Jesus met us in the middle of our hopelessness. Blessings to you today.